Hey Internet, today we are doing a monster bash with the random mystery monster creator. So about a week ago I had a group of videos go through my feed, and it was 4 friends that all decided they were going to use a random mystery monster creator to make completely new and unique monsters, and they're all very excellent artists, and I will have their channels listed. I am not an artist yet. I'm still starting out, as you know, with most of the nerd hobby skills. So new to painting, new to making miniatures and armatures, and pretty new to 3D printing and all the different technologies. But we're going to do the best we can, and we're going to use the monster creator to generate something completely different. So the channels, Miscast, Nerdcraft HQ, Rackrex Art, and BerserkerWorks were the 4 artists that I saw originally, and then as well Miniature Hobbyist has a great video. They all came out about a week ago. So I had made a comment about how much I enjoyed the videos, and I heard back from BerserkerWorks that I should try it on my own and send them pictures and link their channels, and so I'm going to do that. First up, I did a random number generator with the cards digitally, and so you've got the selection up here on the screen, and it ended up with only really the one that looks like bubbles. I didn't know what much to do with. So I put them all into this editor, and I kind of did my layout that way. I decided to double up on the legs so that it had a little bit of symmetry, so I probably took some liberty there. Alright, next up, you gotta find some materials. So the eggs were easy. I just took white beads, little rubberized plastic arms from finger puppet you could see in the background there, and then I did some clay for the body and neck, and really don't have a lot in the way of tools. This was probably 15-year-old Sculpting that I bit by bit worked some heat back into. So then we bake it, which I had pushed in some wings from beads that were birds, and they completely melted. But as a sort of a consolation prize, they still left the feathering impression in the clay, and so I just pulled out the melted, almost on fire plastic bits. So I actually checked what I thought was the safety sheet for the plastic, and apparently I found the wrong plastic because its heating and melting point was 100 degrees cooler than I thought it would be. So that meant that the cooking point of the clay was much too hot in the toaster there. Alright, so we've got our sculpt here, looking kind of blobby, and the head crest melted, but I had to leave it in there, so it'll become part of the piece at the end there. Alright, next up, we have got we're going to use some thermoset plastic, and we're going to dip some thread in that plastic, as well as dunk the eggs and the miniature into that 2-part plastic, and that will hopefully make a adhesive well enough to keep everything structured together. So the thread and the plastic together made a really cool effect, a bramble or a wall of thorns. There we've got it's all covered in plastic. Yep. And then I try not to waste, so all of it becomes scrap that usually will be used for terrain and things for the role-playing games that we do. So I also had a couple of other projects that needed the plastic, the top of a wall that was rough, and the spine of another creature I'm making. So here's the plastic all cooled. And then let's pull up that mini covered in plastic there. Alright, now we've got painting, and I know other painters are going to get on me about painting in a spotlight, but that's the room I have access to when it's nighttime, so it's just work with what you got. So, okay, we've got it painted, and let's get up those MiniMishaps. So this was really a lot of fun, and I'm really grateful that the group, or BerserkerWorks specifically, invited me to give it a try here. So let's pull them up and I'll give you a show here in real life. There we have it. So you guys can guess where I grew up. It's not where I'm living now, but this is a lot painted to resemble a Minnesota loon there. But I figured for a monster bash of wild strangeness that a bird with the name loon was apropos. So that is that. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like the material I've got here, feel free to like and subscribe, and we've got a Patreon page as well. I'll have all that linked, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks again to Miscast, Nerdcraft HQ, Rack Art, and BerserkerWorks. You guys are awesome, and I love your projects. So, thanks, Internet.